Hello and welcome to the semifinal week in review episode of League to the Max here on the W2M network. I am your host, Brian Andesian Espinoza, and I am joined, as always, by my friend and yours, the only disembodied voice of this program, the co-host and producer, Mr. Eric Watkins. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. Just note that as we are a W2M network podcast, be prepared to know that I am infringing one of your gimmicks. So ignore any eating sounds that you may or may not hear.
Well, it's not Thursday night, so you can infringe all you'd like.
Good, especially because nachos.
Oh, you bastard.
Oh, yeah. I got the hookup today, so.
That's
and
okay.
yes,
I
can be
have
easily
some.
bribed with food.
I have some lovely sparkling ice black raspberry caffeine water soda.
Oh, that is so good.
It is. It's my first time trying the caffeine version.
Mm-hmm.
I had like 4 cases of the regular water left over from a Labor Day sale.
Yeah.
And I'm just now finally finishing up. And I paired that with some grilled cheese for lunch. So I'm doing okay.
Not a bad choice. And remember, to any potential sponsors, we cannot be bought, but we for damn sure can be rented.
Or bribed.
That too.
So it was an interesting 2 days of weekend league. I know this is Tuesday and we're definitely a couple days late to the party, but didn't seem right doing a podcast on Halloween Eve, right? You know, friends to see, trick or treating to do, etc. So that kind of threw Sunday out the window. And yesterday we had, the usual unfortunate scheduling conflicts because right now it's Worlds. We don't have a regular time and place for the show yet. That'll probably be something we sit down and figure out after the World Championship is over.
So hang on. You don't want to do a podcast on Halloween, yet we're totally ignoring Dia de los Muertos. I see how this is.
No, this is the perfect podcast to talk about on Dia de los Muertos because of all of the deaths that we had in the semifinals this past weekend. It was a bloody one.
You know what? I got to give you that one.
It's like I just magically turned on the podcaster host switch in my brain, and here we are. Now watch. On Thursday, I'm going to be as dead as a doornail. Actually, I can't be as dead as a doornail on Thursday, and I'll tell you why. We have a lot of content to put out in the next few days.
We certainly do. We have plans. Now, whether or not we stick to those plans is entirely up to discretion, but we have plans.
Would you like to hear about those plans?
Of course.
So I'm thinking today we got the weekend review show for semifinals, right? We got 10 games to talk about, and boy, were they good too. Like, honestly, I did not I don't think anybody like, you thought the line on EDG Gen G going to 5 game, like you thought sorry, let me take that back for a second. You thought the line on T1 DK going to 5 games was pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can only imagine what the line on EDG Gen G going to 5 games looked like. And man, I wish I hashtag bet on Bovada on that because I'd be railing in some money right now because nobody expected that series to go to 5 games. Nobody.
Well, had you let me know, say, hey, you got a hunch, I would have hooked you up.
I didn't even have a hunch that it was going to go to 5 games, right? Like, everybody, the casters, the analysts, the random anime profile pic with 5 followers guy on Twitter, everybody thought that this game was going to be a 3-0 stomp. So the fact that we got a hell of a 5-game series, honestly, It's going to make for some
Look,
good discussion here, and
that
as soon as we get through our plans for the week, right?
yeah, it has all I'm saying is this. There's a saying when it comes to gambling. Sometimes the masses are asses. It's okay to bet against them. Fade as much as possible. Again, shoot me a message on the W2M Discord, which everybody should follow us there, by the way. It's like, hey, I've got this. You have an account with Bovada. Would you mind? And I'd be like, sure, go ahead. And then I figure out a way to get you the appropriate funds. Not that hard.
Oh
Not that
no,
hard.
not that hard. But again, I didn't even have a hunch. It was just like the fact that it went to 5 games. I'm sure somebody probably put that bet down and made a good chunk of change on it. I'm just saying.
Exactly. And especially like with Bovada, unlike a certain co-host on another podcast that I know, are very good about paying out their bets when they win.
I sense some saltiness between you, and I'm gonna guess Harry.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not Harry, but if you go back and watch the latest episode of the Kickoff, available on all of your streaming devices, as well as visually on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and well, I don't think we were on Twitch, but Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, we're all over the place. It's okay.
Hmm.
Speaking of being all over the place, we're going to be all over the place this week as far as league content goes. Right back to those plans, right? So
Mm-hmm.
today we have our semifinals in review show. We're going to talk about 10 very, very bloody games on Dia de los Muertos. How very appropriate. Tomorrow we are going to be doing a deep dive again into Damn One Gaming and Damn One Kia. I think more specifically this time around, we're going to probably have to talk about the how they did specifically against T1 and the whole, what is left for them now because they don't have the undefeated the streak at Worlds. They barely, honestly, they barely came out of that series, right? And we're going to get to that in a minute, even though we did cover them already. Um, they barely come out of that series. It was it was an interesting weekend for Damn One Kia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think our deep dive for Wednesday is definitely going to be how did the weekend affect Damn One Kia and what does that say for their chances at the finals on Saturday, right?
Right.
Thursday we'll be talking about EDG and how we have a Chinese team that has always been, pretty high up there in the standings. Has always made it to Worlds, but has always fell flat and choked in group stage, right? Well, it's their first quarterfinal. Now it's their first semifinal. Now it's their first final, right? And we're gonna sit down. We're gonna take a look at how they got there, history of the team over the years. Take a look at their players. Same thing we did last week. And then on Friday, on the eve of the finals of the World Championship, we'll be talking about that exactly itself, the finals. We'll be talking about the history of the opening ceremonies, the structure of the finals, notable games, moments, plays, things that have happened in previous Worlds finals. We'll be talking about all of the teams that have ever had the honor of hoisting the Summoners Cup. And all in all, I think it's going to be a good show.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's the name of the trophy?
Yes.
Am I wrong that I would have expected something less basic?
So in the original League of Legends lore, because Riot loves to change things, um, the players themselves are called summoners, and the summoners controlled champions who are real people that live throughout whatever throughout the different regions, like Piltovers on, etc. Um, within the league universe. but they controlled the champions via a mental telepathic link type setup in the League of Legends. And the champions were the legends, and the people that played in the league were the summoners. So they named the world championship the Summoners Cup.
The
But
history.
we'll talk more about that. We could talk more about that as well
Yeah, we'll talk
on
more about
Friday.
that and the fact that even with all of the lore and the history, it makes it no less basic. But I will have that discussion on Friday.
Yeah, I some parts of League lore need an update, and some parts need a reversion. That's for sure. But that's the plans for this week, folks. Probably going to be around this time, I'd say, unless if that works for you, every night this week, about
Uh,
5:30.
yes, because I'm well, except for Friday. Friday,
Okay,
we're gonna have to go earlier.
that's fine. We can figure that out, but and we'll make sure we mention it on Thursday's show. But yeah, because Thursday I don't want to pull what we did last time, which was
Oh no.
break from League and then go straight into Life is Like a Game show. That was a once and never again. I thought it was a good idea on paper, and then it turned out not to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, Thursday we can't anyway because I have a prior appointment Thursday at 8, so I would need some time after that, get things ready, then go live lags, and then Friday I have something at 5, so we would either have to go earlier or afterwards.
Friday earlier is probably better. That way we don't end up with a disembodied voice, if you will.
Gotcha.
Um, because yeah, we'll also do a League for Dummies as a part of that.
Okay, that
Um,
works. I got a
and
good window Friday afternoon. I'd say between 2:30 and 5.
I think that'd be good.
Excellent.
But let's get into this weekend or this past weekend, shall we? Because this weekend coming up is the finals, and I'm not
Oh
ready to
yeah.
talk about that yet.
And believe me, and before we say when we get into our first semifinal matchup, it was a classic, it was a banger, and we had our episode specifically devoted to that in the W2M archives.
Yes. Would you like to hear some updated statistics on pick'ems?
Yes, because I remember this and someone's a Highlander. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, there can only be one. As in, there's only one person left with the perfect pick'em score.
Did I not tell you at some point this was inevitable?
I mean, now to that one person, right? This is the one thing I'm wondering, right? First of all, who you got to win it? Because if you don't have Dame one, I'm very sus. First of all, second of all, can I have your email for next year's pick'ems or Twitter or something? Like, oh man, how the hell do you bet on EDG, man? Like,
No, I mean, fuck Pick'ems and whatever. Can you hook us up on some lotto numbers?
yeah, that too. That too. I would love for you to pull a David Freak Turley there. And today's lottery numbers are 6. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna need the rest of them lotto numbers. Ugh. Yeah, no, like 3 people were left, right? Apparently 2 of them must have picked Gen G. I'd love to know what the hell those 2 were thinking, right? Because, I mean, walking in the door, everybody was thinking, okay, this is easy for Gen G. Or, sorry, excuse me, EDG. All these Gs. A lot of Gs. Maybe some OGs. No?
No, I was
No.
going to even make a Stacking G's reference, but I thought, nah, it wouldn't work.
Well, the G forces that were experienced in the up and down roller coaster of this series yesterday.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I'm on fire today, apparently.
Hey, I don't even know if that one was out of pity. It's oh Jesus. And last time you were saying for you, saying give you the strength. Now the tables are turned.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, like I said, the up and down roller coaster of the EDG Gen G series, right? EDG came like swinging out the gate, and man, they hit right. They hit it. They hit it out left field, and it was out of the ballpark on that first game. And then it pretty much just it was win trading from there is what it felt like. Um, I mean, overall, it was a very good series, right? Um, the problem with the series, right, is the fact that EDG couldn't like clean 3-0 Gen G leaves me to say that there is absolutely no way in hell that they are going to win over Damn One Gaming on Saturday. As much as I hate to say it, right? Like, there's just absolutely zero way that with the performance that both of those teams put up. Like, I'm not even just going to sit here and like tunnel vision in on Gen G on this one, right? Or EDG. Like, I'm not going to tunnel in on either of them. Like, this is just like both of them, right? Um the fact that neither of them looked like, oh dear god, dominant was really kind of sad, right? Like, the fact that that it wasn't a stomp, again, it just leads me to believe that there's no way that they'll win over Damn One, right? Like, you've got the next like 5 days, 6 days to sit down, and you got a lot of film to watch, right?
Oh, well, I would think so.
But even if you watch that film, I don't know if your players, mechanically speaking, have the capability to take down Damn One, right? I don't think they can avoid Damn One making them create what is professionally called unforced errors, right?
But I mean, here's the rub though. Even with that, and I do agree, as we mentioned to start the show, this is their first final. Yes, they're going to go ahead, they're going to scrim, they're going to watch film, they're going to do all this, they're going to overtrain, everything with that. I get it. But at the same time, like I said before,
You see, I don't even know if they're scrimming, right? Because who's left in the EU for them to scrim?
fair.
Like, I'm pretty sure everybody's taking the first flight they can take home, right? Especially with, COVID and everything.
Right, that's fair.
Because I'm sure that most of these countries probably are enforcing some sort of, okay, welcome home, 2-week quarantine, 1-week quarantine, whatever, which means those players can't do anything. That entire staff that went to Iceland that went to Reykjavik can't do anything for a full week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that because I don't think they want to play League of Legends. They just lost League of Legends. It's this is now finally their time off. This is pretty much officially the off season for everybody not at Worlds. So I don't know. I don't think there's anybody there for them to scrim except for they're either going to play European teams, which haven't looked that great at Worlds. We kind of had a very disappointing year out of the LEC. Or they may ask to play, EDG might call Damn One up and say, hey, we want to play a scrim or two against you. But you have to be careful there, right? Because
Don't want to tip
whatever
your
you
hand.
exactly whatever you do in that scrim may get used against you. It's kind of like it's a knife's edge, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you take the scrim and try to glean some information off of your opponent and maybe bluff your way into some stuff you'll play, but you probably won't, like, low likelihood you'll play it on stage kind of thing? Or do you just like full out, like, balls to the wall, use a term used in the league community? Do you just full on try hard it and, take whatever information you can take away from that, right?
Right.
Excuse me. My allergies have been going slightly nuts because it is finally that time of year where the cinnamon brooms have gone up in my apartment. That was yesterday. And my allergies, as much as they loved the delicious smell of cinnamon throughout my entire apartment, are still getting used to the fact that there's this overwhelming aroma of cinnamon throughout my entire apartment.
Well, I mean, rather cinnamon than things like pine.
Well, you know those cinnamon brooms that they sell at like Publix or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually get a couple of those and hang them up around the house through the holiday season. Just leave them up, right?
Yeah.
Because they're pretty good. They'll last a couple months. And I finally got some yesterday because we had been meaning to get them, and this is usually around the time of year that we do it. I think we're a little late, but I got them yesterday. I put one up in my desk zone here, and there's one up by the front door because they were on sale. So normally just get one, put it by the front door, so you get a nice whiff of cinnamon as you walk in. But I got extras, so like sure, I'll put one up near the desk. But back to this series, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
as I was saying, the fact that it wasn't a 3-0, it wasn't a stomp, it wasn't anything decisive, it doesn't make a good case for EDG, right? And I know we talked about this off air, but I have to agree with you in what you said. The chaos in this tournament is now done, right?
Yes.
Like, there is no chaos left in this tournament. Like, the fact that EDG is even standing there, I think is enough chaos as is, right? The
Mm-hmm.
fact that the damn one just, like, by the sliver of their teeth made it out. Like, we've had a lot more chaos in this tournament than normal, right? But at the same time, we've also had a lot more, I don't want to say boredom, but I think for lack of better terminology, I'm going to use the word boredom. Mediocrity.
Well, I would also say normality in these cases.
Maybe normality. We've seen a lot of this is the expected result for this type of tournament format, and a lot of
Yeah.
people just don't like that, which is, I guess, a combination of both normality and mediocrity.
Yeah. Both would be applicable.
Um, but overwhelmingly, we have seen a shitload of chaos in this tournament. Like it's normally these tournaments are not this chaotic, right? Like I don't remember the last time I saw a tournament this chaotic with this many upsets and so on, right? So I'm with you. The genie is out the bottle. The magic gas is out of the box. Like it's over. It's done. Hello, damn one, 2-time back to back. Congratulations, right? Oh look,
Exactly.
and we have a comment from our illustrious co-host of Life is Like a Game Show, Mr. Jonathan Nielsen, from Facebook. Oh look, semifinal number 2 is just going to be a who gets squashed. Wait, Silver Scrapes. Yes, that like I said, it went to Silver Scrapes. Overall, it was a good series, right? Like this is the type of series I would have honestly expected out of a quarterfinals game, right? Like this is something I would have loved to see in a quarterfinals game, not a who's going to go get their ass handed to them by damn one Kia. And as I was saying, the fact that it's gone to Silver Scrapes is definitely not good, right? Because if you want to beat a team like Damn One, you have to do it through just complete control and dominance, right? SKT had it, right? Like they managed to pull the 2 games off of them, and when they did that, it was through utter control and dominance in the early game, and it was through just masterclass and out drafting and just the pick ban and the draft in general, right?
Right.
Unfortunately or fortunately, whichever you want to choose in this situation, depending on who you're a fan of, um EDG doesn't have that, right? Like these were long drawn out battles, right? The first game, um if I remember correctly, I'm looking at it. First game was 30. Come on, come back here. The first game was 37 minutes and change. First game of this series, 37 minutes and change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming from the team, right? And this is an interesting thing that I saw on the broadcast, right? They had the fastest average time of all games through the group stage, and I believe through quarterfinals as well, but I want to say it was at least group stage on EDG side. So the fact that it got held to 37 minutes, Baron and Elder to win the game, not looking so hot, right? Like Damn One does not want to play 37-minute games. I'm gonna see if I can figure out what they're. I know a couple of places I can go, possibly get this data, but I'm gonna check and see. I want to find out if I can see the longest game that Damn One has played.
I was also looking up some early odds for the final series. Oh my.
I don't think I want to know, do I?
Well, I mean, going through even all the props and everything, there's a lot of key numbers going on that's pretty much supporting your theory. A lot that is supporting your theory. If you need me to stall, I
Oh,
can go through and break down
no,
some
no, no,
numbers.
no. I'm looking for something, and I just found a very interesting statistic. Damn One Kia holds the record for the fastest win at Worlds.
Okay.
A record-breaking 19 minutes and 3 seconds in the final game of the semifinal win that they had over G2 last year at Worlds. So it's the exact same team.
Uh-oh. Um, about those odds.
Yeah.
How deep do you want me to dive into that?
Go ahead, be my guest, because I'm gonna look for. I'm gonna see if I can pull up a list of
Now, for
2021.
those who are interested, I have these set up in like your decimal odds, especially because I bet of a lot of Australian rules football. So when I give you these prices, I can translate them to more familiar American odds if need be. Damn Juan is a very, very heavy favorite. For an outright series win, it's only paying $1.26. So that translates to about minus 400 for those of you who bet an American. Whereas for EDG, an outright win, paying 365. So think about a better than 2-1, better than 5-2 underdog. Silver Scrapes is not likely. The under 4.5 is only paying $1.33.
Yeah, don't take
And
that bet. Don't take that bet. There's no way this goes to 5 games. Don't take that bet.
well, no, that's
I'll
an
eat my words. I'll eat my words if it does, but
well,
don't
no,
take that bet.
no, that's it. The $1.33 if it does not go to Silver Scrapes under 4.5 games. If you want to bet that it goes Silver Scrapes, that's paying $3.20.
$3.20 or $320.
$3.20 on a $1 bet. So
Okay.
a little bit better than 2-1. For the spread, which is the normal 1.5 games, Dan won a significant favorite, $1.67, winning by more than 1.5. The best odds as far as breakdown of the series result, it's actually tied. Damwon winning 3-0 and 3-1 are both paying out 335 as of right now. And of the map exacta, like how it goes each way, game by game, a Damwon 3-0 is paying 375. And that is the favorite of all the odds. If you're going anything EDG, you're talking on a single bet, you could win upwards of $30.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's not friendly. Not friendly.
All right. So I did find some interesting information, right?
Mm-hmm.
The shortest game so far in this tournament was 19 minutes and 53 seconds, and that was T1 versus DFM back in the group stage.
Okay.
The Japanese team that went
Right.
0-6. The longest game was 54 minutes and 7 seconds, and that was Cloud9 versus Rogue. I believe this was the tiebreaker game. This was their tiebreaker game to get them out of group.
That makes sense that was going to be a slugfest.
The average game time is 34 minutes and 20 seconds. And we have had 78 games so far in this tournament. Um, Damn one. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is the page that I wanted. Thank you, this website. Damn one Kia. Average game time is 34 minutes and 18 seconds. Edward Gaming actually has a shorter average game time with 31 minutes and 49 seconds. Edward Gaming's win rate is 62.5%. Meanwhile, Damn One Kia's is, thanks to their 2 losses to Team 1, down to 85.7%.
Man.
So you look at this data, right? And you look at what we saw in the games, right? The data suggests that EDG know how to come out strong, know how to take an early game lead and run with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we've seen out of Damn One Kia says it doesn't matter. Damn One Kia will force you to make unforced errors or even forced errors. They will snowball every opportunity that they can get. And they know how to play in all positions of the game. They know how to play ahead, they know how to play even, and they know how to play from behind. If you're Damn One Kia, I think you've got to, I'm not getting too overzealous quite yet, but I think you've got the championship in the bag, right? But if you're EDG, I think EDG, and I've been saying this since it went to 5 games on Sunday, right? I think EDG can make this a 3-1 series, right? I don't think we're going to have another blowout finals. Please, I don't want another blowout finals. They're boring. I'm sorry, but they're boring. Go all the way through just to have the whole thing end in 2.5, 3 hours because it's a blowout 3-0 series. That's no fun for anybody, right?
Again, 3-0, 3-1. For the time being, they're paying the same odds. 335. So in American odds, you're looking at plus 235. So almost 5-2.
Now, Gen G in the second game, they won that one, right? They did it much shorter. 30 minutes, about 30 minutes and 15 seconds. I'm trying to see if I can get the official time here. 30 minutes and 18 seconds was Gen G's win in game 2. Right? Now, I had a thing and I lost it. And I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Which is why you're seeing the weird facial expression that you're seeing.
So you had a thing and then you lost it. That's what she said?
Hi-yo. I mean, wait a minute. So, game 1, right? Ruler just gets his butt camped, right? Like Viper Mako, the bot lane for EDG, they just come out early. They kill him like 3 times in a row, right? EDG, they also get first blood on the top lane. Gen G was kind of winning 5v5s a little bit, right? Like they had a little bit of a better 5v5 comp and it showed. At the end, though, there was a key pick onto Viper, who was pretty much fed and carrying them. Gen G was having objective control, right? Like you look at the end of the game stats, and Gen G ended up with 2 Barons. I think they had like 3 Dragons. They had 4. They had Soul, right? EDG there was a Mountain Soul in that game. But do. Yeah, I'm looking at this. Excuse me. The only interesting thing really about game one was the quote unquote back door, right? I can't really call it a back door because he just walked right in with a wave of minions and started wailing on the Nexus, right?
Look, I mean, if the back door is wide open, you gotta slide right on in.
You are not making this dirty, okay?
I swear, sometimes I'm such a child.
But yeah, no, because this, you know what this was? This wasn't a back door; it was a front door, right?
Even better.
Like, you see what I got to deal with here, folks? Look, take it to point of viewer, okay?
We're trying. We got to schedule a point to where we can resurrect that, bro. Podcast, especially since with 2.0, it's going to be a very, very special project. Details coming forthwith.
Uh. So yeah, like I said, not really a back door, more of a front door, right? Because everybody is sitting there fighting. They're getting ready to fight over Elder Dragon, and Flandre just walks right in with a wave and is like, "Oh, look, an enemy Nexus. I'm going to hit this." And he tapped on the Nexus, and it exploded. I'm surprised you're not laughing your ass off.
Well, not out loud. Not out
I
loud.
was intentionally trying to make that as double entendre as possible just for you.
Well, I mean, again, explosions are ideally what you want, especially if you can target them properly.
Well, Flandre was on target with his explosion of the Nexus while they were sitting there playing footsies at Baron. Or Elder. That's what I meant to say. Elder. That's how the first game went, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second game was just like early aggression and domination. It wasn't really even that. It was just EDG camped the hell out of top. They dove for first blood. I remember that being pretty notable. Um, Rascal did solo kill Flandre a couple of times, but he's on Renekton. Renekton versus Graves. You've got stuns. You've got mobility. You've got a button that says, "Look at me. I'm a giant. I have damage." Um, it doesn't surprise me that he got a couple of solo kills on Flandre. Um, they Gen G though plays it right, like in all the right ways, right? Like they get picks on the right people at the right time. They get the first Herald. I think it was the only Herald in that game. Um, yeah, there's only one Herald in that game. Um, they unlocked the map at the right times, right?
Right.
Genji gets a pretty big lead. EDG starts trying to play from behind. They look to fish for a really big, comeback flashy play. Doesn't happen. Genji punishes him for it. The big thing that this was a hell of a series, right? So EDG tries to go for a desperation Baron, and Clid, the Gen G jungler, just waltzed right in and stole it. He said, "Nope, this is mine. Thanks for the leash." And that was the end of game two. Um, in game three, which is where I actually woke up and I was like, was the end of game 2 and going into game 3 was when I actually woke up Sunday morning. I unintentionally overslept. Oh, excuse me. Um, Gen G like started off pretty good in the early game, right? They did all the same stuff that they did in game 2. They brought it into game 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
They took the early game fights. They got a huge gold lead via a lot of early game plates and turret pressure. They did the whole North American mid game like waffle, right?
Right.
They're like, okay, we don't know how to close. They just all of a sudden, okay, we don't know how to close out a game. They pushed, they got an inhibitor, but it really wasn't a lot of value in that inhibitor. That first inhibitor that they take down. Um, then they go for an interesting Baron fight. Ruler on Gen G side manages to secure the Baron, not by much. EDG ends up with a Cloud Soul, which is kind of decent. You know, they get some movement speed and a little bit of reductions and stuff. But it's not really helping them out too much, right? Um, Gen G just kind of, makes the cross map play. They punish the fact that, EDG isn't pushing the side lanes. And it's like, okay, you can have the Baron, but we're going to have your base. But in this case, it was, you can have the dragon, but we'll have your base. And Gen G just comes up 2-0. And now we got a 2-1 series, and it's on match point for Gen G, right?
Mm-hmm.
Game 4, though, EDG took something personally. And, besides all of the pauses for people spilling water on their desks, because apparently that was a thing on Sunday, people couldn't hold their water in. They pretty much, EDG came back at game 4 and said, not quite yet. We're going to go see Silver Scrapes. We're gonna make sure that Riot sends another residuals check to Danny McCarthy. There's in game 4. I don't know how I put game 4, right? Like game 4, pretty even, right? Like it felt pretty even for a bit there, even though there was like at times it was like a 3-4K gold lead. It kind of felt even, right?
Right.
Like, okay, EDG, they get a Herald, they ran it down mid. They're sitting there trying to get early pressure on plates. They're trying to establish even more of a gold lead, but it didn't feel like they had a gold lead, right? Like every time they wanted to make a play, Gen G felt like they were right there to contest it, right? Even if they weren't doing a very good job at it, they were there.
Sometimes being there is just enough to help you get across the finish line.
They do out rotate a few times. They'll win a couple of dragon. They win a dragon fight off of some key team fighting and key ultimates. Again, Clid doesn't miss smite, right? There's a couple of there's a couple of steals out of Clid again in this game to try to stall it out. But at the end of the day, pretty short game, right? It's coming in right at the average game time. You're looking at about 32 minutes. I'm trying to get the exact number here. Sorry. Looks like about 31 minutes and 40 seconds. So it's on par for EDG's average game time, but I don't know how dominant they looked, right?
Right.
Like they gave up all of the dragons in that game in game 4. Um sure they got more kills and everything, but at the end of the day it was a typical EDG game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Game 5 hit the silver scrapes, right? Like this is it. It's it. It's all or nothing. Make or break is the tournament mantra is going, right? You got Freak, Colby, and Kobe. That's the guy's actual name is Jordan Colby. Corby, sorry, Corby. Why am I saying Colby? You got Corby, Kobe, and Freak on the cast. They're ready to go. Game 5. BDD gets caught out right at the early game, right? Not a good start for Gen G because he gets first blooded. EDG has very clean macro throughout the early game. They managed to get the first Rift Herald. Um, they end up going bot with that Rift Herald, I believe. There was Gen G tries to team fight their way out of the situation that the deficit that they've ended up in. But EDG just is pretty much cleaning up the team fights at this point, right? Like they're losing one or two members maybe to ace the whole team at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll take it. They win a dragon fight. As soon as they win the dragon, they get an ace. They go over to Baron. And then from there, it's just like the checklist for flying a plane, right? It's or it's like, okay, did we do this? Check. Did we do that? Check. Did we do that? Check. Do we win the game now? Check. And they were just, ticking all the check boxes on the checklist
Right.
to punch their ticket to finals. And that was pretty much the series, right? Like the notable things I think that happened in this series, honestly, for the entertainment value that it was, because don't get me wrong, it was a good entertaining series, right? Really, the entertainment value came in Clid on Gen G. Just when he wanted to smite, he didn't miss it, right?
I bet they have to be sure to pronounce that game or that name awfully carefully.
Oh, you're funny. Yes, because heaven forbid we call him Clit. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yes.
Are we
Yes,
gonna
you
have to
did.
put the explicit tag on this episode? Why
Yes.
the fuck didn't we? Oops, did I say that out loud too?
Well, I mean, I was leaning towards it anyways, but
I was leaning towards it anyways. Yeah, you knew this was going to be explicit. When I say when I call you a bastard like 3 times in the first 30 seconds of opening the episode, yeah, I think we kind of have to put the explicit tag on it.
all because I'm sitting here with chocolate milk and homemade nachos, and you're not.
You bastard.
It was some good nachos too.
You bastard. Ugh. But yeah, no, that's how that series went. And now we get to talk about the really entertaining series, right? Like we actually did go and cover this. Unfortunately, I don't have on the Genji EDG the person that normally covers the that I normally watch for press conference coverage. He did not cover the press conferences on Sunday. I'm assuming it probably had something to do with Halloween. The coverage that I did find was from another reporter, and it was not. I did not hear the translations very well. So unfortunately, we did not get any. I haven't checked. I should have probably checked to see if I could find a VOD or something of it with English translations, but we did not get live press conference coverage, excuse me, um, afterwards. So I don't have any interesting quips from the press conferences for you on that one. But let's talk about the match that everybody's still talking about, right? Or at least some people are still talking about. Damn one T1, right? What a banger, right? Like we thought that was going to be a hell of a we thought it was going to like some folks walked in, oh, this is a stomp, this is easy for damn one. And then there are others, that were like, okay, T1's got a shot at this. If anybody's going to do it, it's T1. And they put up the fight, right? Like it was a great series. Um I mean, we covered our episode on it. We had our keys to the game and everything. Like, I don't know what much else we could cover except for the fact that at the end of the day, excuse me, it came down to game 5 with I think just a slight coaching difference and better mechanical play from Damn One Gaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it pretty much became everybody took comfort picks, at least what was left of them to be able to take for their comfort picks. And Damn One just barely got the edge at the end of the day, right? I'm trying to find something here. There was a picture that LOL Esports. There it is. I found it. Get this pasted in over here.
Alrighty. Well, would you look at that?
Colma giving Faker the pat on the back. You did good, kid. I imagine that something along that lines is what was said in Korean between those two.
Yep, something like that.
Like it's a nice little wholesome moment after a very tense series.
I mean, at that point, pretty much, as to be expected.
Yeah. And you could tell there's no, malice or anything between the two of them. They were more than perfectly content, you know, to congratulate each other and be happy in the moment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at this site that I found that tells me, various win rates and stuff, right?
Right.
T1 has a win rate, has the second highest win rate in the tournament for like all games, right? At least from groups onward. At 71.4%. Their average game time was 31 minutes and 2 seconds. Fastest in the tournament.
Hoy.
Even faster than 0-6 DFM by 10 seconds, 11 seconds. Even faster than EDG by 40. So does that 46 seconds. Sorry, 47. It's off by one. I'm off by one on my math today. I think that's a sign of something.
Well, that's because, again, you're doing the math yourself.
I like math that's pre-done for me.
As that's why I mentioned you're always off when you do it by yourself.
At the end of the day, here's my takeaway from this, right? I think Edward Gaming pulls it off. At least they pull off one more game from Dam One, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Dam One is going to come out of this tournament only having lost to T1, because if they do, that's huge, right? I think almost de facto you can say that, like, this is where I'm a proponent of a losers bracket, right? Because I think in reality, if Team One was given a second opportunity at Dam One, I think the second go around they take it, right? Overall, I think EDG has what it takes to take a game off of Dam One in the finals, but I don't think I don't think they win, and I definitely don't think they push it to Silver Scrapes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be an interesting finals overall, right? Like, it might be a very boring finals. The two are not mutually exclusive. Um, Interesting does not mean it's not going to be boring, right?
Right.
Like, I still think it's going to end up being an over. I think it'll be a boring finals. Like, there's only going to be a couple of flashy plays here and there, and for the rest of it, it's going to be, the traditional lull state, as we like to call it in, as it's like to be called in Korea, right? But I think EDG could pick up a game, and I think they're going to try. I think they're going to impress with the game that they pick up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very much like T1. They're going to just tear a whole bunch of holes into. Would you grow up?
I'm sorry. Sometimes when I get in these moods, and I promise I'm not even drunk yet. Emphasis on yet.
Yeah, clearly. EDG will tear open holes in the Dam One armor, right? Like, they'll tear them apart. They'll put a few holes in the armor. Like, look, we can do it, right? T1 did it. Now we can do it. But overall, I think it's going to be boring, right? I don't think there's anything I still don't. I still stand by what I say when I say that I don't think there's anything interesting about this series, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, right? Hell, a majority of the world at this point could be wrong. Like, maybe the EDG fans are right. Maybe there is some sort of weird, maybe the chaos isn't out of the tournament quite yet. But I'm not seeing it, right? Like, I think it's all gone. EDG had a hell of an amazing run. Don't get me wrong. Number one Chinese seed battling the number one Korean seed. We haven't seen that since 2018. I believe it was MSI. Actually, no, sorry, it was 2017. They put these stats up on the official broadcast. I know it was an MSI, and I know it was either 2017 or 2018. Somebody can tweet fact check me on it. You can direct your hate mail to s.garmer@gmail.com, and you can direct your editorial correction tweets to @theandesian on Twitter.
Remember, though, don't cross the streams in either of those sets of information.
Yes. I will not take your hate mail, and s.garmer@gmail.com does not want your editorial tweets and corrections.
But I will say, given your sentiments in breaking down everything, I want to go back to the odds. $3.35 on a dollar bet, so a plus 235 for those who use the American betting system. Fractional odds 33 to 5, so almost 7 to 1. I believe. Anyway, no, almost 3.5 to 1. So they have that same payout for a damn one 3-0 win and a damn
Okay.
one 3-1 win, as it is right now. Of course, today being only Wednesday or Tuesday, even, you're going to have a lot of chances for money to flow in. Which would you, if the odds were the same, which would you feel comfortable betting on? And if the odds were to become different, would there be anything to sway you one way or the other between those two scenarios?
Okay, give me the two scenarios again. Sorry, I was ironically looking at some odds on something.
Damn one 3-0, damn one 3-1.
If you gave me, and I'll use a different reference here for a change, that some of our folks might get. If you gave me a Tricky Dick Fun Bill, okay, you didn't get that reference. It's from
I want to
Futurama.
say Futurama with the
Yes.
$300 bill.
Yep.
Okay. I had to think for a second, and I was like, oh, yeah, that.
If you gave me a Tricky Dick Fun Bill right now and said, go place a bet on either 3-0 or 3-1, I would put the money on the 3-1.
Okay.
I don't think that there's really anything that I could see outside of a possible swap, but I'm going to check something here because I believe the swap for Dam 1 or the sub for Dam 1 is not bot lane, right? I don't believe it is. I could be wrong. I may very well be wrong. I am wrong.
Well, that escalated quickly.
I don't think I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I am wrong. um, they have for Hale. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Again, hate mail s.garmer@gmail.com. Editorial tweets and corrections to that the Andesian on Twitter. I may be pronouncing that incorrectly, but they have a bot laner who is a sub that was on their challenger team. I don't know if he is there in Iceland. I don't know who's there in Iceland with them though, right? Because they have multiple. They have a jungle sub named Malrang, but with how good Canyon's been doing, I doubt they sub him out. And the same with Ghost, right? Ghost and Barrel have just been on top of the tournament, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
really the only thing. Like that's the only thing I could possibly change my mind. Is if Dam One subs somebody out, uh, changing the bet, right? But overall, I think it's 3-1, right? I don't count EDG out because while they dragged Genji to a 5-game final, EDG has a faster paced gameplay overall, as evidenced by the statistics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, excuse me. What have we predicted a lot of our chaos on that has come true so far in this tournament? Results based analysis.
Yes.
So, looking at results based analysis, the data suggests that, and it's not even suggesting, it is telling us that overall, EDG has a faster game time than Damn One does, right? In fact, that difference is Damn One Kia average game time is 34 minutes and 18 seconds, where Edward Gaming is 31 minutes and 49 seconds. So that's about 2.5 minutes, if I'm doing the quick math right.
Run those numbers by me one more time.
34:18 and 31:49.
Yeah,
It's a
2:29.
2.5 minutes. I
Yep.
love it when a math comes together. So yeah, 2.5 minute difference, right? 2.5 minutes is pretty big, right? Like that's halfway through a Baron respawn timer. That's halfway through a Dragon I think that is a Dragon respawn timer. Like a lot can happen in a game of League of Legends in 2.5 minutes. So I don't count them out for that simple fact, right? They have the third highest win rate in the tournament. Actually, they're tied with Gen G, who got eliminated. But yeah, no, I don't see a world where I change the bet. I think if you gave me the money to put down, I put it on 3-1, and I say it's 3-1. Don't ask me what game they take or when, but it's definitely going to be a 3-1 series, right? I don't think EDG has enough gas in the tank and enough tricks up their sleeve to pull it to a 5-game series. As much as I'd love it, right? I don't think EDG pulls them to a 5-game series. But I think they can cheese out enough of one game where maybe they get lucky. They get they just, they do what they did against EDG. They insanely pressure a lane early, right? Maybe they
Mm-hmm.
go after Showmaker because Showmaker's been proving to be the carry, right?
Right.
Maybe
Now,
they pressure Showmaker early, get like 2-3 back-to-back kills on him, just completely shut him out of lane, and
and,
they establish an early lead that way, and they manage to cheese out like a Baron and get a win, right?
and I will say this. Odds are wise, there's not much of a difference for
Excuse me a second. My phone is ringing and I cannot mute it. I'm sorry.
the shit kind of ringtone is that?
House phone.
The shit kind of ringtone is that for a house phone?
Panasonic wireless phone, house phone. That was very awkward and inconvenient.
Well,
I don't answer unavailable phone calls after business hours because that's the business landline. So,
well, as I was saying, not much of a difference in odds as far as Damwon dropping a particular game, and I will explain why. For Dan Juan to drop game one, then win out, payout is 8-1, $9. Winning game one, losing game two, and then winning out, exact same. 8-1, $9. Going up 2-0, losing game three, and finishing the job in game four, you're not getting much of a drop off. 7.5-1, $8.50. Anything beyond that, it doesn't matter at all. If it goes to silver scrapes in any single way, if you're going by the exacta, pick one, the payout's the same, $22. So 21-1.
Enticing odds, but not worth it.
No, but this is what I'm saying. It's the fact that you get that jump all right, nearly 3-1 for just winning out 3-0. Then 8-1 for a 3-1, and then you're getting all the way to a jump to 22-1. So that's why I say, and again, this is before any sort of sharp money has really come into play. But I mean, maybe if the odds were separated enough, like you could get just enough of a better payout for a 3-0, how much would the difference be to tempt you?
I don't know, probably at least $1 or $2.
Okay. Okay.
Like I couldn't see it dead even, right? Like I'd have to see like some sort of clear, even if it's not a definitive lead, but at least a lead that is growing. Like I don't know if I would want to go like, like 50-cent kind of odds, right? Like half a odd, but
Right.
like at least like a solid 1 or 2 up
Okay.
on the line is what I would have to, was probably what would entice me to flip that bet over to the 3-0.
Okay. Well, again, Bovada.lv, they've got all kinds of specials. I explain them on the kickoff. It's intriguing. Not to mention, you can keep tabs on everything live if you're up watching the finals Saturday. You can place some live bets. They've got those available.
Okay. Now, I'm looking for something. I think it may be in our Discord here. I dropped a couple of tweets that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. As we get to winding down because we're not quite at my hard out yet, but
But we're getting close. Yeah, I understand. Okay, so first we've got the bracket, right? We'll take a look. The bracket all the way to finals, right? It's been a hell of a run. It's been a hell of a month of games. Again, what was the magic number? I thought we saw 78 games so far, and we're guaranteed at least another 3. So we're looking at a minimum of 81 games this tournament. The teams that came, the remaining teams that have played in this tournament have played. EDG has, I believe, EDG has a 2-game advantage because they all played the same number of. Actually, no, EDG played a tiebreaker. Give me a moment here. Yeah, EDG played a tiebreaker in group stage, if I remember correctly. They're 10-6, where Dam 1 is 12-2. So 14-16.
So not much of a difference.
So EDG has a 2-game difference. They have 2 more games played at the tournament than Dam 1. Again, I know one of those was, I believe one of those was in the was a tiebreaker, and then the 3-2 against um, EDG, or not EDG, sorry, against RNG gave him 1 game up. Sounds about right. I could be wrong. Because 12-2 is 14, and 10-6 is 16. So either way, EDG played 16 games so far in this tournament, and Damwon Gia has played 14. If I'm looking at this correctly. All right. Yeah, no, I am reading that correctly. Again, I think it's been an interesting tournament. I want to talk about, and we'll definitely be covering this on a future episode of League to the Max or whatever, the newest podcast here on the W2M network. We'll be talking about potential format changes to the tournament because there's something that needs to be changed. I don't know what. I can't really put my pin on what, but something should be changed here. Overall, it was a good tournament, but I think there definitely was the usual problem that you have when you seed these type of tournaments, which is a weak seed versus a strong seed, or a weak side versus a strong side. And that happens, right?
Well, I mean, again, and we can discuss this further as we go into the off season, or maybe if it comes up in our lead up to the finals. We'll spitball and remind everybody about our ideas of how things should change. I mean, Ryan, if you're listening, I got a golden one for you. Still out there. Just saying.
Okay, this is weird. Are you seeing the link I'm pasting in chat? Because it's not going through for me.
No, I am not.
That is the weirdest thing. Is it like suddenly not like links or something?
I don't know. I haven't had any issues before.
Oh, thanks, StreamYard.
Well, as we're getting in and wrapping everything up, yeah, it's one of those tournaments to where overall the group stage, that was really more your highlight than anything else because of all the craziness. Cloud9, the group of chaos that was Group D, all of these things. And I think to avoid these sorts of quarterfinals, because yes, we did wind up having Silver Scrapes 3 times, and we also had 3-3-0s leading up to the finals. And you're not leading to that impressive of a series coming up. At a minimum, I do believe the knockouts do need to be reformatted at a bare minimum, but I think a lot of people, myself included, would not mind seeing an overhaul of the entire tournament, how it's structured. I have my faith in Riot and the fact that seeing this are going to make changes, especially because the peak viewership hype that we discussed with T1 and Damwon Kia, That was just a classic. Peak viewership, 3.5 million across all platforms. Great. I'm interested in seeing the numbers as we go this time next week, what it is. And if I'm Riot, I would really be looking at those as well. So hopefully they'll have some sort of banger or great setup as far as the opening ceremonies for the finals themselves. Make it to where you can bring someone in and then just everybody kind of stutter through from there.
Very, very well said. I agree that the tournament changes do need to happen. We'll cover that more as the uh, series continues here into the off season. I apologize for those minor technical difficulties we had there for a moment. Let's see if I can paste this link properly. Finally, there we go.
Hey, there it goes.
A lot of folks have been saying, and a lot of teams have been showing that they want success overnight, right? Success doesn't happen overnight. This is how you get success. It's like with any traditional sports team.
Yeah, I mean, it takes years to become an overnight success. You gotta build, you gotta build, you gotta build, be it draft, free agency, coaching, stylistics, all of the stuff. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes in building a championship caliber team.
EDG's support Mako. Over 6 years with the team, 857 games. The entire time he's been with the team, he hasn't, he's been through almost every quarterfinal defeat or groups knockout that they've been through. And guess what? In 4 days, he has a shot at taking home the Summoners Cup. Say what you will about the name, we can talk about that later, but that's what the hell it's called. God damn it!
I'm not going to say anything else about the basic name yet. Again, but I I
Remember how Experience won out over in the damn 1T1 game?
yeah,
I mean, we already did our deep dive into Damn One, and as you may remember, some of those guys have only been on that team for, past 3 years
right.
and have been playing for about that amount of time.
Yes.
Do I think that Mako is going to be enough of a playmaker that it swings the series in EDG's favor? I don't know. We've seen some interesting playmaking coming out of the support position. A particular set of carry a Thresh games come to mind. Or wow, I said Thresh. Man, I meant to say Zillion. Excuse me. Again, hate mail, s.garmer@gmail.com. Some Zillion support games in the T1 DK series come to mind, but and a particular flash forward engage. But Mako isn't Carria, right? I don't know. I mean, it's impressive the statistic that we have on screen here, right? But I don't know if experience alone is enough to carry EDG to the championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think at the end of the day, it'll be a good series to watch. I don't know if we call it memorable quite yet. Um, maybe we get some spicy picks, some stuff that we haven't seen at all yet. Maybe somebody decides to pull an off meta read, then it gets a little bit spicy. But overall, I think this is a damn one over Suning all over again, right?
Right.
Which ironically was a Korean team over a Chinese team. Like, I think this is history repeating itself, and not in a good way if you're a fan of, Chinese League of Legends. So I hope, part of me hopes I'm wrong, right? Like, I'm all for dynasties, and I'm all for the back to back and whatever. But it definitely, as far as the narratives and the storyline goes, I think it kind of actually feels a little bit better if EDG wins it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because here's a team that has always been known to choke internationally. They haven't been that great. And then all of a sudden, just 2021, they have an amazing run. Domestically, they take the number one seed. They go international, and somehow they don't manage to fuck it up internationally, and they go ahead and they're out of one of the four teams, and out of the four teams, probably one of the least ones favored to win the tournament, and they do, making all sorts of history and maybe a couple of records in the process. Feels a little bit better than Damn One, who just gets to claim back-to-back championships, which hasn't been done since Faker and T1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, these storylines don't end here at Worlds. They go back home domestically to these regions as well, right? Like,
Right.
if Damn One loses at Worlds here, imagine them going back to Korea in the spring, and it's like they barely won against T1, and then they lose to Damn One, or they lose to EDG, excuse me, in the finals. That's a hell of a storyline for the LCK. That's for sure. But I think that's where we're going to end it, right?
Yeah.
Overall, T1 EDG, or sorry, T1 Damn One definitely goes down in my book as top 5 of World Series to watch, right? Like World's games to watch. Or I should say knockout series, because games versus series is a little bit different. You're talking about an individual game versus a, best of 5 series. But 100% for sure, I think this goes down as one of the best, World Series games to watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the World Series, go Braves.
Fuck those trash throws.
I had to get that in there somewhere. I got plenty of
I
I got plenty of friends in Atlanta. I'm Atlanta's like a second home to me almost.
Not to mention Harry Broadhurst, co-host of Life is Like a Game Show, AMI co-host on the kickoff. Very, very avid Braves fan. Oh, what could have been, Tampa? What could have fucking been? Not
But
bad.
yeah, T1, Damn One, top 5, maybe even top 3 of all time best series to watch at Worlds, right? EDG Gen G, entertaining, not really going down anywhere notable, right? Entertaining for the fact that it was 5 games and it was a semifinal. They were sluggish. It was either good early game pressure that stalled, that turned into late game stomps, or just like stall outs, or early game stomps, right? That was it. It was either early game stomps, which is what happened in like 2 of the games, and then the other 3 really felt more like, long drawn skirmishy stall outs. and not the good kind of stall outs either. But I think that's going to do it. Again, we got lots of stuff coming up this week. If you want to take it away from here, sir, remind the folks what we got coming up the rest of the week and tell them where they can find us and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
I think we can go ahead and end the show here, and you'll be on time for your engagement.
perfect. Again, stay tuned this week. We will have different episodes, so dedicating one deep dive to each of our finalists, how they got here, the progression through the tournament, etc., etc. And we're going to devote a special episode the day before the championship
Friday.
to the finals itself. We're going to talk, as I mentioned before, opening ceremonies, the history behind it, that basic ass trophy name. Yes, I'm going to say it again. All of that. So stay tuned over these next few days. If you happen to be watching us live, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, thank you ever so much. Please follow us. Facebook.com/W2M Network, Twitch.tv/W2M Net, Twitter.com/W2M Network, YouTube, if you're on a delay, YouTube.com/W2M Network. Again, thank you ever so much. And if you are of the oral persuasion, do not fret. Castbox, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Pods, Google Pods, Overcast, you name it, most likely we are on it.
Hey, viewer.
Yes.
Guess what?
What?
Spotify is here.
Are you are you trying to be Kennedy or something? Trying to butcher it that bad? Even she got it right eventually.
No, I felt like doing it.
Yeah, I swear, tabarnak. Anyways, this is what we have to deal with each other. But
Yes,
folks,
but it's fun.
it is. It
And
really is.
we hope you enjoy being here for the ride as we talk about this. And as part of Friday's show, we're also going to be doing a league for beginners. I have some special production tricks up my sleeve.
Uh-oh.
Having worked in television and knowing a good bit about streaming and the platform that we use.
Uh-oh.
So I highly recommend and encourage that you tune in and watch that episode live.
And it's gonna be up on YouTube. All I'm saying is uh-oh.
Yeah, the viewer over here doesn't know what I'm gonna do yet, but
And I've already been burned. It's like, yeah, I got something special for a podcast. And then the kickoff happened. Fucking Mo Salah.
yeah, let's just say I may or may not be able to hijack control of the disembodied voice and the hand that guides it.
Oh, great. Super.
It's like the last little thing I had over this show was being able to mute your ass, and now I can't even do that.
Damn it, I was expecting you to say something else.
As he mutes my microphone, and I see it pop up on my screen. Anyways, folks, thank you so much. This has been League to the Max, or whatever. A W2M Network presentation. We hope you have a wonderful evening, and we will see you here approximately the same time tomorrow on the same channel. Good night.
Good night.